I want to give a shout out to 265 Chevy. Don't know why he did what he did, but he did, and I am appreciative of it. He gave me a shout out, and I went from 9 subscribers to over 50 now in literally one day. So, wow, I appreciate that, buddy. And all the other people who commented on the paint booth setup, I've decided to go ahead and just make a paint booth when I decide to use it. Since I don't do enough of that, you know, I just do primer and stuff like that. I'll just cover my tools and do it that way. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all the comments. I can't remember the guy's name who commented, but he said putting the let me spin you around here. He said putting the intake filters up there, that's an attic area. Well, duh, I'm a fireman. It gets hot up in the attics, and you know, over 115, 20 degrees up there. Well, if you got your intake air coming in the summer, sucking down from up there, you know, it's going to be really, really hot. So that'd be probably a bad idea anyway. So I've decided what I'm probably going to do is just do what Tom Noble and Shut Your Face Garage talked about. A couple other guys, same suggestion. Just basically put a wall here, maybe out of PVC or 2x4 type stuff, 2x2s, and put the little filter grid that I had set up for the intake coming through this side, and then out that door there. That's a 8x10 door, and I can set up and just have it go straight across. The door up front there is 8x16, I believe, and so yeah, this little area back here would be pretty good, but again, I've decided their idea was the way to go. So what I started doing is finishing up my ceilings. You can see I've got about almost half of it, almost half of the bottom side here done. And I'm doing it by myself, so I bought a sheetrock lift some time ago, and you guys would have cracked up. I should have recorded it, but me up there on a ladder with that long piece of insulation over my head, literally using my head to try to hold it up, and then staple with the other hands and hold and tuck and all that. Yeah, that's just not happening. So this thing is the way to go. Basically, it just holds it up there for you, just like it would a piece of sheetrock, and you can tuck it up in there and staple it, and works fantastic. So this insulation's first time I've ever done it. It really wasn't hard. It's labor intensive, but it's just, you know, I mean, you just roll it up there and staple it up. It's not rocket science. So but the sheetrock, on the other hand, I've heard a lot of people say it's not hard and you can do it, but again, in my shop, I've had several people say, man, I would just pay someone to come in and do it. They'll knock it out in a day or two, have it mud and taped and done, and be out of your hair. Whereas if I do it, I mean, it's taken me a long time just to do this insulation myself. And so yeah, to do all that sheetrock and have to cut in around all these lights. And these lights, I've basically, they're for a drop ceiling. But when I got this door, you can see over here, that door basically raises up to where my lift, I'm able to, I can put a truck in here and basically have a couple of inches between the doors up. Couple inches between the bed and the door, and with this lifted all the way up. So what I did is I had a guy come in and he actually lifted those tracks up about another foot from what they normally would be, and that's why I put that, what they call a jack shaft, in, and basically that's my garage door opener over there. That leaves this whole area free for a vehicle to be able to go up. But back here he did the same thing. He lifted it up high. Well, I had these lights back here, and I realized when this door comes up, because those tracks are so close, it was going to hit. So I decided, well, I'll just buy some lights and recess them. So I actually had to make, basically just 2x4 deals up in there to put the lights recessed up. I left, not quite a ½ inch or so clearance for the sheetrock to go around it. But anyway, yeah, putting this all in and trying to sheetrock that and then cut around those, that to me, that's probably something that somebody else that knows what they're doing, because I'm going to end up wasting a whole lot of sheetrock and spending money and, you know, probably pretty frustrated. So also, I was going to say, I watched, and I'm almost ashamed to say this, I probably watched 6 hours of Tom Noble's videos on his Camaro. Fantastic work. I've enjoyed it. It's made me, you know, I'm really excited to get back on this. Yeah, that's just him going through it and some of the things that he had to deal with. Some of the super thick Bondo, same type of deal on this one. Just shoddy work that people do. Had me laughing, because I mean, I'm going through basically what he's going through, and I wanted to comment, but a lot of the videos were like 2 years old, and I'm like, well, you know, I mean, it's he's probably almost done with his car by now. So anyway, I was going to give you a little shout out. It's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's. Hope you guys have a great new year, and hope next year's fantastic as well. I don't know that I'll ever get any better talking on camera. I'm just not that kind of person. This is really stepping out for me. So, and probably the only reason I'm doing it is because I've learned so much from the YouTube community and the Garage Gang. And I thought, you know, I just want to be able to give back, and maybe somebody will pick up something here or there that I do that, you know, they didn't know, because I've picked up a whole lot of stuff. So you know, I'm not a professional. I'm just a hobbyist. So, but I take a lot of pride in my work. I think that the craft of anything. Yeah, I mean, everybody's all about making money. I worked at a body shop for a couple years, and basically, I mean, it's beat out the dent, get it out fast, assembly line, go. I mean, and I'm in there trying to beat the metal out as straight as I can, and the guy I work for is coming over going, man, you can't, I mean, I appreciate you trying to do a good job, but man, your time is money. You know, just slap some Bondo on it, straighten it out, send it out, and let's go, you know. And I learned a lot there, don't get me wrong, and the guy was fantastic that I worked for, and I understand that he had to make money, but that basically is why I built this shop, because I thought, you know, I want to build muscle cars. I want to do this type of stuff, and you know, that. And I'm slow. I'm super slow. So, you know, I'm not going to make any money for anybody in a business like that. So, I actually worked for free for him just to get an education for the first 6 months or so. And I'll turn you around so you can see. Anyway, I worked for him for about 6 months for free, and he ended up hiring me. And I knew that once money got involved, because the first 6 months was amazing. I got to do all kinds of stuff. He had me, I mean, I was his best friend. And I was making him money, no doubt. He was teaching me, I'm getting a free education. And I do this on my days off from the fire department. So every day I'd get off, I'd go over there and I'd work all day. And like I said, you know, I mean, we work 24 on, 48 off, so I had 2 full days to be able to go over there and learn, and so I'm pretty fortunate in that area. But yeah, once the money got involved, things went downhill. He started, you know, I mean, it's just the way it is. You start expecting more. And again, I'm slow, methodical, want to do a good job. And he's like, well, I appreciate that. I want you to do a good job. I just want you to do a good job fast. Well, I don't really have a good job fast. I have a good job or nothing at all. It's like, you know, I mean, that's when I start working fast, it's like Tom Noble says, when he starts getting tired, things start going bad. Well, when I start moving fast, things start going bad. So I have to sit and think stuff out, you know, and just take it a step at a time. And so for me, the best thing for me was to build my own shop and start doing it out of my house. And again, it's just a hobby. I'm not trying to make money. I just love old muscle cars. I love all kinds of cars. But for me, to see some of the stuff that's out in the salvage yards, and I'm like, man, what, you know, the history. And when I was a little kid, you know, I grew up, my grandpa's house was basically like a salvage yard. He had 55 Chevys. He had a 67 Chevelle, 65 Chevelle SS. And I'd go out there when I was 5, 6 years old and play in the cars. My grandma would tell me watch for snakes because the weeds had grown up all around the cars. And I'd sit in them for hours just playing, acting like I was driving. And my dad had a 67 Chevelle Super Sport with, I think he had a 427 in it, 4-speed. And man, it was the I forgot what color green. It's like a dark green color. It's a beautiful car. And he'd put me in the back seat, and man, I mean, just go sideways down the road, and I got addicted. That was it for me. It was in my blood after that. And when I was 16, I had my first Chevelle. It was a 68 Chevelle Super Sport, 396 4-speed car. Fastest car I've ever owned. And probably not a good car for a 16-year-old to have, but you know, I had a lot of fun with it. Got in quite a bit of trouble with it, but you know, it's in my blood. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling now. So anyway, I was going to kind of give you a heads up and thank some of the people on YouTube that and everyone that's subscribed. But some of the guys that have given me advice on the paint booth deal, because I've kind of been going around back and forth on that and thought, man, I'm going to have to do a lot more work before I put the rest of the insulation in. Out here in Oklahoma, it's 22 degrees right now outside, and so I really needed to get this insulation done. And so it's been kind of a process, and it's funny, I started working on this car, and it was probably 65, 70 degrees outside. And then the bottom dropped out of it, and I like had almost no insulation up at that point. And I was like, man, I'm gonna have to set this aside for a little bit and get after it. So that's what I've done, and I'm almost finished with it. Again, like I said, I'll probably pay somebody to come in and do the sheetrock and stuff. They could probably knock it out in a day. This whole shop will change tremendously, you know, the appearance of it. So it's gonna be pretty cool. I want to set the shop up like everyone else sets their shop up, all the old tin plate memorabilia stuff, 50s, all that kind of stuff. But it's a working shop. I mean, I'm going to do body work and sand and do all kinds of stuff in it, but I still want it to be cool and fun and all that. So that's kind of my plan. Also thought up there, this, you can see, that's my upstairs. Basically, it's for storage and stuff like that. And that's a big old wall that I could put all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, I've got a mural that's got a bunch of hot rods on it. It's probably, I'm gonna say it's 4 foot wide, and it's big. I'll show you guys sometime. But yeah, I'd like to put it up there, and I even thought about putting a light that would shine down on it. But again, if I get too fancy and I'm in here doing body work, I'm gonna have sheetrock. I'm gonna have sanding dust everywhere, and it's just, that stuff's a mess. I thought about doing the floors, but I weld in here. I mean, literally do everything. So the epoxy floors, it just pit it right up. So I thought about doing staining it, doing the stained concrete, which I really like. And I may still do that eventually, but I'm going to kind of have to do my homework on it and see, you know, what you can and can't get away with pulling cars in and out of it all the time. And so anyway, yeah, I love it. It's probably about 50, I think it's about 55 degrees. That's kicked off, which is fantastic. Like I said, it's 22 degrees outside. I've got it set at about 55, and I think it's somewhere around 55 in here. And I still have tons of holes over here. That goes to the those go to the outside where the the soffit vents are. So there's still cold air coming in through there. So just the whole front half of the shop's, you know, sealed up. But again, like I said, 22 degrees outside. That thing's kicked off, which is amazing. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Yeah, I don't know if that'll focus in or not, but I've got it set at about 55 degrees, and it's about 55 degrees in here. So shop's a mess, but you know, it is what it is until I can get all this cleaned up, all this lumber and stuff from framing up, you know, the window stuff. And I built this bathroom, framed it up, and I'm definitely not a carpenter. This is the first time I've done any of this stuff. Me and a buddy of mine that works on the fire department, and another buddy of mine who is a framer come out. He basically taught us how to frame in a couple of days, and we built the whole shop pretty much from the ground up. I had the concrete poured, post-tension cables in the concrete. It's 30 by 40, and 2 by 6 walls, and put R19 insulation in the walls. I tried to do a good job, do it as good as I could. This actually building is built better than my house. Hey guys, I'm going to end this video here. Again, I appreciate all the subscribers and all the guys who've given me the advice and everything. And so, hey, you guys have a great new year, and hope next year is amazing for you. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.